A warm welcome to 2024. That's right, another year. I hope it does treat you well with whatever you choose to do in it. In today's aviation news recap, Airbus makes history with its A321neo program. There are new orders for Airbus aircraft and some developments around Boom Supersonic and their XB1 demonstrator. But let's take a look initially at Airbus making history by delivering an A321neo to Pegasus Airlines, a Turkish carrier looking to grow its fleet. In what would seem like a typical and standard delivery, there was a lot more behind this than just it being a regular occurrence. This represents a new era for the plane maker as they look to boost production for the A320 family. The Airbus A321neo was assembled at the newly created A320 final assembly line in Toulouse, France. Airbus's latest FAL was actually previously home to the A380. A switch towards the A320neo family comes as they look to respond to industry trends and meet new demand. But ultimately, one of the biggest reasons why we've seen the shift is because Airbus ended production of the world's largest passenger plane in 2021, and as a result, did need to determine what would be done with the substantial space on offer. Utilizing the space to help produce their most popular series of aircraft was really the logical choice. The final assembly line was announced actually towards the beginning of 2020. However, overall plans and meeting initial forecasts for delivery from this new line were missed due to the emergence of the global pandemic. The plane maker will increase production thanks to the ramp-up witnessed in Toulouse. However, the ramp-up will be aided by other FAL halls in Germany, China, and the United States. If we're talking current objectives, well, it should see Airbus producing 75 A320 family jets every single month by 2026. The A321neo was Airbus's best-selling plane in 2023, outperforming the A320neo, and Airbus's backlog for this series just continues to grow. They therefore need to find ways to catch up in response to this growing demand, which is expected to continue following significant delays in deliveries thanks to the pandemic and supply chain issues that followed. Continued development of the A321neo at Airbus has also increased interest in the program. This has been especially highlighted with the LR and the XLR range extensions, which has given the A321 more purpose to fill customers' needs. Boeing's decision not to move forward with their own NMA to act as a dedicated replacement to the 757 and also provide competition to the A321neo program is something that has definitely aided Airbus when it comes down to sales for the program overall. On to the next topic of discussion, and that does see us move towards Boom Supersonic, who have once more missed a timeline for their XB1 demonstrator's first flight, a feat that was promised to occur several years ago now, and especially in 2023. During the previous calendar year, something that is going to take some adjusting, especially if you actually consider I'm recording this in 2023, I have to pretend that it's in 2024 because that is when it's going live. We know that Boom announced on several occasions it was tracking on for a 2023 first flight for the XB1. However, it's now obviously been revealed that won't happen. Throughout 2023, Boom did tick off critical milestones in the XB1 program, which was fantastic to see, that would allow for its first flight to occur that same year. Boom says that the XB1 is configured at least for flight. However, the first flight will now be planned for early this year, with no specific month or time frame other than giving us early. So you can take of that what you will. 3 successful safety enhancements have been made to the XB1 thus far, which is why Boom is citing they've been forced to veer off schedule for the XB1's first flight. However, the first flight has been promised really since the turn of the decade, if not even earlier than that, and with every year it has continued to be pushed back. Additionally, there are several analysts who are pretty critical of this demonstrator and just how it will benefit the full-scale Overture. This has massively been highlighted through the 2022 major redesign of the program, which completely changed how Overture would look and added a 4th engine. Now, the upcoming Overture. Boom's pretty focused on on developing this passenger aircraft, which would reach supersonic speeds. If released, the aircraft will mark a return to supersonic travel and hopefully revolutionize it once more, bringing fast and efficient flying between points right around the world. Boom hopes it can bring maximum efficiency towards Overture, so as it can align with several customers and government bodies' upcoming regulations regarding emissions. The plane will now feature 4 engines, and following that substantial redesign, the mission is still to have the aircraft enter into service by the end of the 2020s. Now, despite Boom's substantial ambitions within the industry, there are several parties who are pretty critical of its place within the industry and just how promising their business case is. Boom does target a substantial market for supersonic travel looking into the 2030s, and yes, has successfully attracted high-profile customers such as American Airlines and United. However, undoubtedly included in these contracts are clauses for an easy exit. As a result, with so much uncertainty around Boom, it does pose the question of whether these deals from the respective companies are more directed towards shareholders and for PR purposes to indicate that the respective company is forward-thinking. Boom's timeline for EIS, or entry into service, production beginning, first flight, and so much more has been what many would say wildly inaccurate. Initially, the XB-1, affectionately known as Baby Boom, was expected to fly, as I mentioned, towards the latter stages of the 2010s, but now Boom cites an early 2024 debut after going on the record multiple times last year saying it would happen then. Despite all of these delays, construction on the Superfactory has progressed well, but there are still many question marks around their funds and much more. What will happen? Well, that remains to be seen. And to conclude, just before the turn of the new year, BOC Aviation, a leading aircraft lessor, announced a deal for Airbus A320neo family jets. Now, this include the A320 and A321neo. As part of the newest commitment, these aircraft will be deployed towards Condor on a long-term lease, adding to the neo family jets they already have on order. Deliveries for 6 aircraft will be completed in 2027 and 2028, and the deal includes 2 of the A320neos and 4 A321neos. The latest technology implemented through the family will be hugely pivotal in moving Condor forward towards more efficient flying. BOC Aviation is a leading global lessor, with a fleet comprising of now 681 aircraft. Now, this includes aircraft it has on order, ones it manages, and ones it owns. As part of this fleet, it sees relationships with 93 airlines in 44 countries and regions, as of the 30th of September last year. This is expected, though, to grow in the future, as they do continue to increase their backlog by placing more aircraft orders. For Condor, the carrier, well, it prides itself on serving leisure markets with several high-profile airports, acting as bases. Destinations span right across the world, with North America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Europe all featured. Their fleet now consists of 43 in-service jets and 6 planes parked, which brings the total to 49, and they have a commitment to several aircraft types, but most notably the fleet averages an age of 15 years. Therefore, Condor will want to bring this down over the coming decade to move again towards these more efficient aircraft types. A deal with BOC Aviation will substantially aid them thanks to this. That is going to conclude today's aviation news recap. If you have any thoughts, you are more than welcome to drop them down below in the comments. Thank you so much for your support here on the channel. It really does mean a lot. I hope 2024 brings you great health, happiness, and so much more. And I look forward to providing you updates throughout the next year.